In 1964, my grandfather, Appa Willie Godun Sr., Punik, he was invited by archaeologists and anthropologists from Brown University. He was invited to the Onion Portage site, this ancient sacred site of the Iñupiaq people. And it was really special for my grandfather to be included in that kind of thing because it showed the respect they had for him, for his knowledge, for what he had to offer. And while they were there, while they were camped out there, when they had some quiet time, he told some stories. One of the stories that my grandfather told was the story of the Coastal Brothers. These two brothers, they have their own particular skills. They go out to the Iñupiaq River area, and they go to try to challenge and hopefully defeat this giant mouse who is destroying everything in its path. The development team really took a great interest in the story that my grandfather told because it really enhances those themes that we found in Never Alone. One of interdependence, another of Iñupiaq values, love of our elders and of our land and of our traditions. I mean, it helped to really bring that out, and so that's one reason why it really captivated the interest of the team.
Ilisimagiga atla Iñupiaq utukkanat kekektarumit ukotigisukkangat tusasimagiga paningmin immagok ilyannarig tamanin neksuk atosik nakinminte tagim sinyanin agirsimarok ilakata asin inyunahuni kekektarugmi iglo pilgubluni anagtakmata angunel gubluni lu ilangat uralguneksok ilannarik tapkok iksitsuk supayami ikaw matrung tarik ipnatsemen kekektarungmun atugurut ukpigoramik angahoting ilokating pilgupluting suli sangipluting ukeg romi inyuna kahoting inyuj aniraktut ibrilagora miknin kenyarik samun upangakratmun upangakratman supayak magaktok ilan narik kuwetjagaktut isiksimakura kahotik ibrulik mikni akuni pigo huting utukkanat ukotigisukkangat kamagirak raip lugu angugora payak Sagwam asi olo tiplu abingor agnorak sakuhuni angorloktuk aglan abingor ayuaniktuk ilingitnin
I wasn't raised here, but my mom talked about how it'd be so dark.
Yeah, it was dark in the wintertime. In December 21st, we see the sun for about 3 hours, The rest is dark. So the days start to get longer right after that, shortly after that.
My mom, in her story, she says the real people come out. Everyone comes alive just because they've been inside so long.
I'm always happy when spring's here because the caribou are migrating north. The bears are coming out of hibernation. Rabbits and stuff, they're all over the place. And they're not hiding under the snow anymore.
Like the elders used to tell me, as soon as they saw those snow buntings, the small birds, the new season would start for gathering food. They knew they'd be happy because fresh food is starting to come around.
We'd be getting geese eggs or seagull eggs or any kind of duck eggs.
We'd go camping in the early spring, go out with dog teams when I was a kid to a spring camp. And it was anywhere that my folks thought that we can get the most food. Right here in the peninsula, we'd walk back from our camp and hunt muskrats, and my mom would dry the skins.
And so it's a time of just all the gathering activities, all the busyness. It's when the life really springs up again.
Isimmik miitlu kammaknit luguk aving ngorak. Hinyagat tabranit sikum kangani. Kayok sa kalokat. Plan aving ngorak at siway ngunit simot. Agnoraglo kayok tuklo emir min nersuk. Sapim mipnuting sagbak wrong me.
Sa kuhuring utalok-talok at kumainin. Iyangat ikayutik sangat sa kutsa. At sutikip lugu ang nagsutik sangat nik.
because we're all Iñupiaqs, you know, upriver, along the coast, I'm considered coastal. Taremi means I'm next to the ocean. Kumi is up the river. And I'm proud to be a Taremi because I can hunt out there where those guys can't. I was taught to be aware of all the conditions out there. In fact, a friend of mine, an elder, he's passed away since. One year he came down, he had a small boat, just as the ice was going. He followed the ice down from Cayena, okay? And he came down, he says, Willie, I come down just to go see how you guys hunt. Let's go. I said, okay. I got my boat ready and we took out. And the ice was moving out there, you know, big chunks and that kind of stuff. So there was one area over on the Kuzentern side I was watching, being aware of how the ice was moving, how fast the current was moving, that kind of stuff. Automatically, you know, I was taught that by my dad. I was really watching and everything. I said, we got to get out of here. And he looked at me and said, how come? I said, our way to get out of here is closing up. So I took off. And he was right behind me. I went through okay, and then he went through, and he said he looked back after we went through, and the ice came up. It came together and came up like that. And he shook his head when we came back, and he said, I will never question the price of seed oil again. I see the danger you guys go through. If you don't know what you're doing, bad things can happen to you out there. Yeah.
That's a great story.
Well, it's the truth, you know,
Yeah.
what I went through.
Naluk kisuhutik pakai cek kisip magan awing ngorak.